Sorry, extremely sorry. Anyway, so basically in hex format also, if you want to send, let's say, data of, let's say, 1 to 3F. So 1 is basically 0001, 2 is 0010, 3 is 0011, and F is 111, right? So you need only 4 lines. You need only 4 lines to send this characters. So that is why the 4 data lines are sufficient. You have to get your job done. Fine. So we don't need 8 data lines, but actually in primitive microcontrollers, we need 8 data lines. So we have a few data lines, maybe 4 to 8, 3 control lines. Actually, we need 2, and the second one, third one has to be grounded. And what is the value of this enable pin? As a pin number 6, it's the most important pin. Enable pin is something that actually acts like a strobe signal. Strobe is what? Strobe is basically a signal which is normally low, it goes high, and it stays high momentarily. Okay, stays high for a very short amount of time, it goes again low. So it's like in a short rectangular pulse. Okay, so it is basically low. Suddenly it comes to a high level, and it stays high level for a very small amount of time. Again, it comes down to 0 level. Okay, okay, fine. So this is how a strobe comes. So we need that type of signal. That is an enable pin. So a high to low pulse of 450 nanosecond is given to the pin. Again, that is the task of the library. That is being performed by the liquid crystal .h or LCD I2C.h library. We are not going to perform all such things, but in case of the primitive microcontroller, we need to see everything by ourselves. I mean, we need to start everything from the scratch. I mean, you don't need to get into the circuits actually, because we're not going to use that circuit. Few things to be remembered for LCD. There are 2 things. One is the command register. Command register where all the commands coming from the users will be stored. For example, setting cursor, clearing display and stuff. Data means the data to be displayed. Okay. So there are 2 different registers to distinguish whether it's a command or data. And of course, Ravi, how to distinguish data and command? Because they will actually, the LCD looks into the signal of RS. If the RS signal is low, definitely it is the command signal, right? If the RS signal is high, it is basically data signal. So these are the different inputs. Again, we don't need to get our head worked up for all such things. I will share this document with you. For example, this is a hex code: 01 for period string, 02 for return on, descent cursor, shift right, okay, shift display off. So these are the possible command signals available for a 16x2, 20x4 LCDs. Yeah. Okay, we can if you can connect with any other microcontroller, if you start scratch level, this signal will be required. Okay, that means you don't have any library, you need to write everything from the scratch. So you definitely need this command. Fine. So 3 steps are to be required to perform LCD. First, initialization. You need to send some of the initialization. For example, we are performing at the setup level, right? That is the LCD initializations, LCD clear, LCD backlight. So similarly, I mean, for this signal, send 38 data. 38 is what? 38 is basically use 2 lines to 5x7 matrix. So basically, once we select LCD 16x2, once you declare our LCD 16x2, na, it can be 20,4. Once you declare 16x2, the first thing it does by sending initialized signal is basically it will send this signal 38. Use 2 lines 5x7 matrix. A different one for different actually LCD model. Acha, one trick is tell me one thing, that if that is a LCD, okay, if this is what the position of this particular character is what? This is 0, 0, right? 0 column, 0, 0 row, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What is this? 7th column. But this is basically it's actually 8 or you can say it's 7 actually, because it starts with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But it should be 7, 0. The column comes first, then comes row.
Okay.
Not row comes first, columns come first. Okay. So 0, 0 means basically 0th column, 0th row. 7, 0 means 0th row, 7th column. And if you move over here, it is basically 0, 1. That is 0th row, first column. Okay. Fine. Now, very interesting thing that if you print, let's say 80 hex means you force cursor to the beginning of the first line. That is basically 0, 0 position. Yeah. Okay. So that is the 80. So that is the address of this character. What is the address of this one? 81, right? This is 82, yeah. 83, 84, 85 to up to 8F. Okay, so if you want to place the character in a certain position, we use the LCD set character, set cursor. Within cursor, we need to write the proper character, position of the character. For example, here I need to position the cursor to 0, 1. That means first row, first column, second row.
First column, second row. Yeah.
Second row, 0, 1. 0, 1 means this comes first, columns first, row second. So first column, second row. So LCD.set cursor, once you declare this LCD set cursor 0, 1, what it's saying, internally, it will actually get that address value from this address string, and it will send the corresponding address to the LCD to set the cursor to the beginning of the second line, that is C0. Okay, the address of the second module, address of the second actually row starts from the C0. So C0 to CF, and this is 80 to 8F. Although these are not required for the Arduino purpose, but it's, just for your understanding, it's better to know that how these signals or how these characters have been written. Better, I suggest you maybe off time, if you have time to, if you have really time to waste, you can go through some of the libraries written by those developers. For example, LCD.h, serial.h. You can actually get to know how they have taken certain bundles of patches, how they perform all such things. For example, internally, they will generate all such signals. Internally, once you send, let's say, LCD set cursor, based on the cursor, it will perform a switch case. From the switch case, it will either set the cursor to one of the corresponding lines, the beginning of the first line, beginning of the second line, third line, fourth line, stuff like that. Okay, so these are the possible command signals to be written by the LCD. So first it starts 38 and then 0F for making LCD on, cursor blinking on. So this one, similarly, we are sending similar thing in LCD IN8. We set the clear, we set the backlight, everything as far the library is concerned. So these are the main things. So these are the LCD initialization. All are the command signals. Okay. After that, you just send the command signal to the LCD. Now, while sending this command signal to the LCD, you set the RS0, because RS0 means you are sending command, not data. RS is 1 where the data byte is to be displayed. You send the RS0 and you make the RW low because you are writing the data, you're not reading the data. And pulse E from the high to low with some delay. That means you need to generate a pulse of 450 nanosecond. That has been actually, that has been declared over here. Yes. This one is the pulse of 450 nanosecond. E. So E is basically, enable is a pin which is basically low, which suddenly it goes to high and it stays high for a short amount of time. Again, it goes back to low. So basically pulse from high to low with some delay. Okay, and repeat the same thing. So every time you write some data, it comes with a command and data, command and data. Similarly, see this thing happens over here. First time you set the character, you set the cursor, and then you set the data. Set the character, set the data. Again, it comes over there, set the character, then print the data. Set the character, print the data. So basically, first comes the command signal, next comes the data signal. Okay. Every time you need to write some data, first you need to perform the command writing. That means the way you want the data to be displayed. Next comes the data file. And like after that, I think these are not the part of a discussion. But one important thing that, see, these are some command signal. We don't need to get into that assembly language programming because that is not a part of your actual interest. But after sending all such signals, see a certain delay after that, you actually, let's perform, E, see, the E actually. How does this system generate E? E is basically what? E is basically enable signal, which needs to be high for a short amount of time, and it actually comes back to low. Okay. So initially, E is basically low. This particular pin is basically low. After that, this pin E is high, and you put a delay, let's say delay, call delay, let's say delay of 450 nanosecond. Again, you put clear P. That means it goes high, stays high, again it comes to low. So it is basically generating an E signal, enable signal. So after generating enable signal, then actually, LCD is a position to display the data actually. Okay. Every time you write some command to the LCD or data to the LCD, you need to perform this E over there. Similarly, the E read write signal, initially you set the basically E0, again you basically high, you set a delay, again you low. So these are basically common. So that is why actually enable signal is an indispensable part of the LCD, and this is why this E is also, see this this E pin also connected to the pin number. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 4 is the register select. Number 6, this one. This one is connected to the pin number 11. Now, for you or as an Arduino user does not know that nobody actually knows that what the hell is all about 12 and 11. Okay, this is not our task, right? We just connect pin according to their credit because this is the way they have written their program actually. And this is the way they have generated the library. Because see, how do you declare the library? After declaring LCD crystal.h or maybe liquid crystal IC.h, we need to define a object for the liquid crystal class. Okay. Similarly, see here also liquid crystal.I2C. This library is there. So this is the library. Within the library, there is a class called liquid crystal underscore IC. Okay. The class actually comes in this color. Okay, maroon color. You need to declare an object. For example, serial.b. Okay, so you need to declare an object. It can be LC, it can be Ruby, whatever, to inherit all the properties written within this LCD crystal underscore I2C class within the LCD crystal I2C library. That is why you are actually inheriting all the libraries from this class, all the functions, library, whatever. So this is your object. Now within the object, you declare two things. I mean, for I2C, first you declare the address of the I2C and the type of this. Normal LCD, what happens? Normal LCD, within this, you declare all the pins actually. All the pins. For example, your register select, your enable, your ESC. This is register select means register select, enable means enable, and all the data. See, and then within setup, you declare what type of LCD. I mean, 16x2 or maybe 20x4, whatever actually. But here is slightly, it's a different. I mean, okay, so fine. So coming back to our discussions, that rotary
small
encoders.
doubt I had.
Nice. Sure.
See, this I2C connection, we have an address for each independent hardware or a sensor. Okay. Let us say if we want to connect two displays to an I2C, it has the same address right now, right?
Yeah, same address. Yes.
So how
it might happen, but it of course all the LCDs should come definitely comes up with the same address. But there's a trick to change the address also. But I'm not sure that you can change the LCD at the same time because these are the hardware MAC address. Okay. But in case of any other device, for example, if you have a n number of Arduinos connected to the same one Arduino as a master slave model, you can assign different address to them, right? But this is the hardware specific address. For example, your router comes up with a certain MAC address. Now the question is that yes, two LCD displays, I mean I2C can be connected to the Arduino. Theoretically not, but you can connect in a multiplex manner. That we'll see. Multiplex means one at a time, actually. So basically, you are using one device at a time. Okay. So not both the device simultaneously. But what happens is that because of the persistence of vision, you will see, I mean, both the display actually, stable, not flickering and stuff like that. That is also possible. That is possible. And I've seen actually, a couple of, but we will see. If you have two displays, we can have, I think later I order a second display and we'll try it out. Okay, that's it. That's a good one. And one more thing that I2C is a problem, that this communication is not so fast. Another communication that we'll study later, that is using SD card, that is a SPI communication, serial programmable interface or serial peripheral interface. That is fast because that has got four inputs. One is a clock, one is the I think slave select or the chip select, and second one is the master input, slave output, slave input, master. So as we have a number of inputs dedicated for the transmitting and receiving, so definitely the rate of transmission is pretty high at obviously the SPI. I2C, there is only one pin. Apart from the clock, there's only been the data, right? If the communication is unidirectional, that is what is happening in the case of LCD, because we are data sending to the LCD. We are not getting any data out of the LCD. So in that case, it doesn't have any problem because the operational all are basically unidirectional. It comes to the simplex model. Simplex means unilateral directions. Another one is a duplex. That means transmission reception can happen, I mean, both at the same time. For example, in case of Arduino, you are printing something from your keypad, at the same time it is displaying something on that. That is for, and that is where we need to have TX, RX, both separate pins. That is not possible in case of, I2C. Anyway, so yeah, so initially we just you just copy over there. Yeah, I think we have copy, right? Yeah, copy that. So let me just give you a small idea how we have formulated all such thing. This code is quite simple, but after you are rest assured that whether you are rotating the knob in clockwise and counterclockwise, now it comes to LCD. And LCD, what happens? First of all, the thing that troubled me a lot initially, that to change from one display to another display, because you have a limited version, right? Your limitation is you cannot go beyond 16:2, and you have a lot of messages to be displayed. So in that case, what happens? Once you are done, for example, let me quickly go through the demo so that you can understand the problem and then solutions. Let me see, and then can we. Yes. Okay, same Wi-Fi thing. Yes. Actually, today the weather is not good here. As of now, it's good, but we had a terrible power outage for the last couple of hours. As of now, power is stable, so is the Wi-Fi, but this is not good actually. A few hours back. That is why even I really troubled a lot while taking classes for the PIT students. Anyway, yeah, sure. Fine. See the positions one, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Position 2, 3, 4, 5, and clockwise. See, and the corresponding LED also changes, right? Okay. These are also changes, some similar thing, but I'm now concentrating on this. See, the once I press the button, see, the second actually row vanishes and it comes to button press. After that, it actually, when I again moving into the clockwise, again it comes to the previous one,
cannot
right?
see that button option. Yeah.
Button option.
Now,
yeah.
Position. Now position and direction I'm able to see, but button one I'm not able to see.
No, button basically button is there within the code where what I have written. Once I press the button, see my thumb. Once I press the button, actually, since I press the button pressed, right? Button pressed. But once I now button pressed, actually, this is the camera. Once I change the directions, again it comes back to the previous one, right?
Yeah.
Again, I press the button.
Come back to the direction.
So that is the uniqueness of that it does not flicker, first of all, and it does not get your display engaged to the previous display, or it will, as it will not be able to come out of the previous one. Once, so that is why, because if you use LCD.clear, okay, LCD.clear is what? It clears all the display, but I don't want all the display to be clear. I don't want the only second row to be clear, right? Second row to be clear and to display the new message. After the button press occurs, again I need to wipe out, and again I come back to the previous one, clockwise or anti-clockwise, whatever. Okay, fine. So this is why actually I am coming to the this portion of the code actually. Yes. What happens that initially that we are done, we are actually basically in both cases, interrupt driven or whatever in normal driven, we are getting the value of clock and the DT when these two signals are not equal. So basically we are counterclockwise direction, equal it's clockwise, that is okay, fine. So we are keeping a track of the rotation in the counter variable, and whether it's clockwise or anti-clockwise, the direction in the counter direction string. Okay, okay, fine. Okay, this is the string actually we have declared here. Fine, this is the string count direction and a variable called counter. Okay, so this is how. Fine. So after printing serial display that okay, this is the this is the current directions as well as the number of rotations. What we did, I just set the cursor 0, 0. Okay, fine. But setting cursor 0, 0, it means that actually it set the cursor to the first point. And I mean,
First position,
over this
yeah.
one, first position, this one, this one. Okay, fine.
0, 0.
This one, 0, 0, fine. So basically, okay. Just, okay. Fine. So basically, it comes to over the 0, 0. Okay, fine. Now 0 to 15, all what you are doing, I just printing spaces. Spaces means previously whatever contains over there, whatever contents were displayed by the module will be wiped out completely. Okay, will be washed away. After that, I set again cursor 0, 0. That means over here, and we print positions, because the first row is basically corresponds to the position, second row corresponds to the direction. Similarly, that is up to you. So you set the position now, and then you set cursor 12, 0, because what is the length of the position? POSI 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So 10, and we have a 16. 10 again, 1 cross to 12. So basically, another 1 or 2. Now we are in the 12 position. 12 means the almost this one, 12, 13, and 12, 13, 14. So here we set the cursor, same row, same actually row on our 13th column. 12 means basically 13th column, and then you print the value of the counter. Counter means that is minus or plus. If it is minus for the clockwise, plus for the plus for the clockwise, minus for the counterclockwise. So it can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or maybe whatever, 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, similarly, for the second row, we do the same thing. We set the cursor 0, 1. 0, 1 matlab first column, second row. First, zeroth column, first row. Second row. Again, we are actually washing all the previous characters. After that, we again set the cursor to the 0, 1, and then we print the directions. Again, we set the 12, and here 12, 0, it is 12, 1. That is the 13th column of the second row. And we are printing the current direction, which is CW or CCW. This is what fine. It works fine. So why did I do all such things? Because here the display changes, because the second row actually needs to be changed frequently once you press the button. It might happen. It might happen in cases now. For example, you have a force sensor, temperature, humidity, pressure. So one by one it comes up. So how do you print all such things within these two displays, right? So in that case, you need to have a certain things. Okay, first temperature, humidity, after 5 seconds, it will display this. Again, 5 seconds, it will come back to this one. And also that way, I similarly do why once I get the switch variable is stated in the button step. So button pressed, what I did, again, I go to the LCD set cursor 0, 1. 0, 1 matlab?
Second column.
0, second row, first column. Or 0th column, whatever. Second row, first column. Second row, first column. Again, you are washing all the character. That means it is washing the directions completely, and it will set the correction 0, 1. It will just print button press, and the button press remains unless and until you perform another rotations. Once you perform another rotation, the control comes over here, and it will wash away all this button press kind of stuff, and it will print the directions. Because direction is, let's say, CW. Positions is always there. Position hasn't been washed away. Position hasn't been washed away by this digital button press. The only direction position, the second row, actually time to time needs to be or keeps washed away by this button press thing. So that is why this adjustment is pretty much required. Okay. But similarly, we just let me copy such thing to the LCD portion. Then I'll come to the interrupt driven section.
There is another method, instead of clearing these things, generally for 3D printers and many other stuff, I've seen this a scrollable menu.
Exactly. That is quite effective in case of scrollable, and that is why I have made it, because in case of future thing, maybe you or me might require all such stuff. But I'm actually finding out such solutions.
Yeah,
it's such a good one.
Definitely helps a lot.
That is why
quite amazing actually, when I use that interface. A lot of stuff is there, and it's only playing with your rotary encoder.
Rotary input, yeah. One second. Okay, just wait. Okay, update encoder. Let's see. Yeah. So 0, 0, yes. This one, fine. Okay, else. Okay, so okay, I'll come. Just okay, copy. See the contents. Okay, fine. And another one for the switch purpose also needs to be copied. Switch. Yes. Okay, so now we are actually in the input interrupt mode. Let me see. First of all, cross check and we'll come back. Button pressed. Okay, with 3, just a minute. Yes. Right. Excellent. Ah. What's my button state? That is, I just did a local check count at else, and then this is okay. This loop comes to named. After that, we check the buttons. Define 2, 3 block is basically. Okay. Just a minute. Acha, Ravi, can I take a 2 minutes break? Just move, okay? Ravi?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just 2 minutes break. Okay? Just let me fix it. Just 2 minutes, okay? I will.
Mm,
Ravi. Hello. Hello. Hello, Ravi.
I'm there. I'm there.
Oh, sure. Finally, I have recovered actually. Oh, ये simple वाला छोड़ ये actually program ठीक नहीं लिखा इसको I just need to reopen this file in draft. Yes, and then need to copy and paste whatever changes I made. Wow. Yes, I need to apply two functions. Fine. Take it. Yes, it's happening. Everything is good. Now, in interrupt driven mode, actually, there's we have declared this pin 0 and 1. I mean, both the 2 and 3 as interrupt mode. So, as we are not going to write the function or anything regarding the rotation, right? The way, it doesn't matter the way you move, you turn the knob, whether in clockwise or anti-clockwise, will be triggered by that ISR itself. Okay, update encoder. So we need to write an update encoder function. See, this is the update encoder function, which is not a part of the void loop, because within the void loop we haven't called the update encoder. Within the void loop we have just called the button function, because the button is also another input which needs to be connected to the interrupt, but Arduino does have only 2 interrupts, so we are left with that. We have declared the button as a normal input, right? As a switch, which is a fourth input actually. Fine. So within this, I mean, update encoder is as good as the same program. So it first of all reads the current state and it checks whether the last state and current state both are not equal. And if it is 1, then whether these two are not equal, it's counterclockwise, other it's clockwise. Fine. This is same. And the loop function, what I'm actually preferring to write as a separate function for printing LCDs. Okay, a separate function for printing LCDs for the rotation and the direction, and which is not a part of the rotation program, because what happened initially, there's a sign called DI, right? You might have remember DI means disable interrupt. So whenever you are writing, I mean, you are overwriting or interrupt handler with so many LCD statements, what you are doing actually, you are engaging processor for some unnecessary stuff, right? Because this interrupt ISR has been called when you change the knob, right? When you turn the knob, okay, whether in clockwise or anti-clockwise, fine. But displaying your rotation on LCD, that is not a part of the interrupted service. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
This is not a part. This is a simple task. So we should not write that display function within the interrupt handler should be as precise as possible. It should be a very clear and very to the point actually. What you do, what you need, what the services to be done, that has to be written clearly, explicitly within the program. With that program, that the function of that routine does not contain any unnecessary display routine, which gets processor stalled actually. So what I did, I have taken all the LCDs, lines that correspond to the LCD from there, and I will put a separate function called void print LCD. Okay. Now what I declared a Boolean rotated. This is a Boolean variable which can be true, which can be false. Okay. So if the rotation occurs, I put it right. Put it true, otherwise false. So Boolean rotated initially it's false because no rotation is there. Once you rotate something and it calls this update encoder, after doing everything, it changes the logic of the rotated to true. Okay. So once in void loop function, every time it calls a function for LCD, but not all the time when the LCD function has been called will display or will actually go through all the lines. If the rotated is true, that means if you have turned your knob either in clockwise or anti-clockwise, then only these lines will be executed. These lines are same basically, which basically corresponding to the position, corresponding to the directions. Okay. So what it does basically, it always checks whether the rotation is performed or not. If rotation is performed, it actually calls up the print LCD and it will display the corresponding position and direction on the two rows of basically LCD. As of now, if you just on area on, then you can see. Okay, but this is interrupt driven, not normal IU driven actually. So this is your
Now even positions are all getting updated, or only this thing?
everything has been given.
No, I mean to
See?
say the position word is also getting refreshed.
Positions word is getting refreshed. See, you see every time when you perform any rotation. Okay, every time you perform the rotation, only then there's a actually good option. What you actually had mentioned, that as position and direction, especially position, does not need to be changed, because positions actually remain same in case of even you apply the button pressed option. So we can omit these things also. We can omit the positions function, but even actually,
So how to disable that updating of this thing? How to
doesn't matter. You don't need to write the position every time. You write the LCD position once in a while. For example, let me write the same thing, because the position does not change. Okay, it remains same.
Yeah.
So what do? You just copy it over there, and then you simply put void setup actually. Void setup. Once backlight is gone, just put up right. So what happens? Sorry. So basically, first column, first two, right? If positions is always there, because the position is happening, position is not changing, position is there. So we are not changing position. So simply you can this portions actually, right. So you can comment out. We can comment out, right? So it starts with 12-0 counter, because the rest of the things needs to be refreshed. It needs to be washed out. Again, I upload it and check.
No, what I seen in some of these things, only let us say if there are two variables like 1 and 2. Okay, so 1 and 2 is going to 1 and 3. Okay, there is only change in the second one.
Second one, not in the first one, right? Right.
Not on the first one. So instead of clearing both the two values, it only gets updated in the second one.
Second one, because see, this position remains same, right? Once I put update, see, this position remains same, right? This variable remains same. It will not change. See, the change occurs in one direction and CW. After that, you press the button, press C. The position remains same. That is possible.
Just also go to 11. Let's say after 10 some value.
Okay, sorry, 10. Acha, 10, 11. Okay, fine.
So it's clearing the first one also, na?
The first one is clear.
I mean to say it's clearing the 2-digit value instead of only updating in the second one.
Second one, right?
So can we change only whatever the value is changing? Let us say from 21 to 22, only the second one is
22.
changing, second number.
Second number is changing, because that is also the first number remains unchanged. See, the first number remains unchanged.
Okay, it is happening like that only, right? Why? Because
it is happening like that. Sure. It's happening. If you have a normal, I mean, that is the normal, LCDs, I think the basic characteristic. What matters is that the portion of the display, for example, like this position, direction, CW, if some of the things are constant, so it's always better to try to keep them as simple as possible, as constant as possible. Only change you actually, because every time you change the LCD, flickering occurs that unnecessarily destabilize the display, which I don't occur, right? Which I don't want actually. That is why you change only that thing which is basically variable. Here actually three things are variable. Direction is variable. Otherwise, had we not been pressed the button press, then you would have set the directions also as a separate one. I mean, as a fixed one. So see, if you have, I think you have seen examples that temperature equals to humidity equals. So temperature is constant, humidity is constant. So you put it to the constant, you just change that, I mean, the value of the temperature and the value of the humidity. Even if the value, the sign of the temperature is also constant, and the sign of the humidity, that is percent or degree, that is also constant. So simply change the variable part only. Keep the text on. Keep the text as it is. Okay. So this is the, I think this part, I mean, the interrupt different, but I think, yeah, I put this one also to send you. Just WhatsApp.
Now, after this, can we end the class by first morning or meeting?
Yeah, sure. Are sure. Sorry. I'm extremely sorry. Actually, tomorrow I've also get stuff. I'm actually we got stuff. Anyway, sir, Ravi, Friday. I mean, like, do you have an office on morning?
Friday morning, I'm not sure.
From 9 o'clock, if it's possible, then fine, we can have the class. Because today actually I had a previous occupied meeting from 8:30 a.m. So that is why
Okay. Friday means day after tomorrow, right?
Day after tomorrow.
Can
I'm free.
Can I update tomorrow, maybe
Yeah,
lunchtime?
Sure. Yeah, fine. So I will send the Zoom link, okay, the video link. You can download and text me, right? Okay.